Hello, my gorgeous people. This is your weekly horoscope tarot card forecast, and it's for all 12 signs of zodiac, and it's in between the 4th and the 10th of October 2021. So this weekly horoscope tarot card forecast is for all 12 signs of zodiac, and it's in between the 4th and the 10th of October 2021. And I'm going to start with my gorgeous Aries, my beautiful Aries. You know, this is like the week that when you're gonna actually come to terms with something really important, with an important path in your life which is about to unfold. Now this is going to kind of like put you in a certain mode, in particular when it comes to you feeling rather nostalgic. Now this is something that you need to pay attention to. When you feel quite nostalgic, when your mind takes you like somewhere, you know, deep within your past, you know, at the same time you need to understand that on one hand you're going to realize something really important that's missing in your life, and it's more important than anything right now, most certainly. But on another hand, once you find yourself like basically focusing on your past, you know, once you find yourself like concentrating and things like that, then at the same time you need to understand that this is going to create a particular flow in your life at that very moment in time. Something is going to come to you as well. So it's not only about this specific part of yourself that's missing, you know, and I know it sounds like, oh God, specific parts of myself is missing. No, but you're going to realize the importance of life, the importance of living, and the importance of doing things in this life that you would like to do, the things that inspire you. And also sometimes, you know, we just leave a really important part of us in the past, and most certainly this part of us is going to pop back when it's meant to pop back, most certainly to give you the actual opportunity in order to bring this into this present moment. So this is something that you really need to pay attention to, because it's at the same time answers so many questions to you. It is kind of going to put you in terms with realization, with like a really ludicrous realization, crazy situation in your life that just kind of drains so much energy from you. But then also on another hand, you're going to realize that the power is within you. You are the power. You have the power. So therefore at the same time, you know, you just basically need to use your intuition. And when I say like, oh yeah, you need to use your intuition, you know, this term is just so like, oh my God, intuition, bad. It's just basically about trusting yourself and not ignoring things that I keep on kind of repeating on your mind. And this in itself is going to provide you with a wonderful opportunity, my gorgeous Aries, by the end of this week. And almost immediately you're also going to become aware this week about the challenging situation that you need to do, that you need to go over. So this is all going to stem from you having this powerful subconscious and then conscious connection with yourself, which is going to connect you with an important part of your past. So that's why a lot is going to start awakening within you, and it's just going to make sense, because it's at the same time going to re-energize you. It's at the same time going to give you this vavavoom-ish power, you know. It's just going to like really going to raise your vibration almost immediately. So therefore you will find yourself like you know, on a bit of a crossroads, but really good crossroads indeed. On one hand, you're going to feel surprised, you know, you're going to be surprised how you feel, but then on another hand, it's going to be absolutely brilliant, because most certainly something is going to be guiding you, something is going to be pushing you to go towards this particular situation. But you are most certainly going to become aware of the challenge. There is a challenge that you're going to be facing, and that challenge is going to be absolutely remarkable, because you're going to do really well, you're going to do really great, and you most certainly going to come on top at the same time. This challenge that I'm talking about is going to bring you success, it's going to bring you an accomplishment, it's going to bring you a couple of recognitions. On one hand, you're going to get recognized, you know, at the part of your life that you will be paying your attention to. You are going to get recognized, and this is going to mean to you so much. I know it's going to mean to you so much, because by the time you get to the end of October, you will see exactly what I meant. And then on another hand, it's about this particular recognition that, you know, you will recognize specifically a very important situation in your life that you didn't maybe recognize before, purely because you weren't ready. So this recognition is going to go a long way. But the bottom line is, whatever comes to you, whatever challenging situation you're facing, whatever opportunity or option you have, but you find it rather challenging, most certainly you should go for it, because it's going to bring you the security, it's going to bring you power. On another hand, you know, this week is also going to bring you healing into your life. Not that long ago, I mean, within the last 3 years, you know, you went through the situation that really kind of broke your heart, you know, like so much. It broke your heart, literally, within the last 3 years. So now you had to work karmically. Karmically, certain things had to go through. Karmically, certain things had to happen. So the most important thing is that there is going to be the specific information and news that you are going to have, and this is going to make you feel so good, and it's almost immediately going to bring you this energy of healing. This vibration is gonna instantly pick up as well, and this is something that is also going to put big smile on your face, but it's on another hand going to give you the opportunity to carry on and get on with your life. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous Taurus, my beautiful Taurinis. You know, it's just basically about, you need to remember to be as professional as you possibly can this week, because you will be facing the situation where you're also going to be a little bit challenged, but the answer to that challenge is to just be, on one hand, be really professional, but then on another hand, you need to be yourself. You need to be honest, but you need to be professional at the same time. You saw, because this situation is kind of gonna, like, maybe it's gonna confuse you a little bit, and if you act impulsively, there it's not going to be that good. So basically what you need to do every single time when you face a situation this week that is like kind of like, oh God, you know, involving somebody else, you just need to take a basically step back and most certainly give a chance, an opportunity to yourself to think about it, because the way you're going to respond after that moment in time, only like a couple of days later, it's going to be completely different response. And your response is important. It's important because it's going to release you from the situation that no longer serve you. It's going to release you from the situation that felt like a self-imposed prison, you know. It's going to really release you from the situation that created so much like a basically unwillingness, you know, to do things in your life, you know. It's going to release you from the situation that made you feel disorientated, and this is all going to make sense, you know, so much to you. But the bottom line is that you just need to understand, and you need to realize that now it's not the time to rush into any situation, in particular if you are responding to something in an impulsive way. Very important indeed. Do you know what is a big mama at the end? You know what is the big thing, like in spirituality? It's like basically it's the reward that you are going to have. It's on one hand going to really kind of be very beneficial and very positive when it comes to the motivation in general in your life, but also the certain delays, you know, that were caused by not having a motivation. You know, this is actually really going to bring you a wonderful moment when things are finally going to be like kind of upside down for you, but in the best possible way. That in itself is visually going to help you to connect, but to also see that there is a very little part of you that you need to pay attention to. It's like a little flower within, you know, that you need to keep on giving water to, and the more water you give to that flower, the more powerful it's going to be. So you must not forget to water it, and that flower is just a part of you that you must not ignore. It is just something that you should pay attention to, but it's also the part of your karma and the spiritual challenge that you need to recognize and realize what this is. And also, you know, it's about a big, huge, massive inspiration and potential and clarity. So there is a clarity that you are going to have, massive inspiration, and you are going to be able to see the potential, an important potential that is going to rejuvenate you so much by the end of this week. That in itself is going to provide you with an opportunity to get hold of the certain missed opportunity, because there was the certain opportunity that you had or you could have had over the last 5 or 6 months. So this is going to bring a really nice moment where you're going to have the opportunity to kind of actually come to terms with this missed opportunity, and it's going to give you the possibility to take it on. So this is something to pay attention to, because most certainly it's going to put a big smile on your face. It's an important part of your progress. It's an important part to stay true and honest with yourself, but at the same time it is going to put you in a contemplation mode. That contemplation mode is really important, because you are gonna make a really, really powerful, mind-blowing and a life-changing decision that you're not going to be completely certain about how things going to unfold, but very deep, within yourself, within your heart, within your soul, you will know exactly what to do. You will know that this is the right thing to do. You will feel it in your heart, and now it's most certainly the time to follow your heart, follow your passion. It is also at the same time going to provide you with a spiritual armor. So there, where your energy was like kind of drained, over the last 24 to 36 months, this is just going to nicely start repairing itself, when it comes to you. And this is going to become obvious, because now suddenly you're going to pick up this week and you're going to have lots of ideas, and this is like a God's gift. It's like a blessing, basically, because it's going to make you feel so much better about yourself, but most importantly, it's also going to help you to open your eyes. Okay. Now, sorry, the third sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Gemini. My gorgeous Gemini, it's like, ooh la la, what do we have here? Very important letter or a message or information is going to arrive, and this is going to make you feel like a superb about yourself. It's going to make you feel great. It's going to make you feel really good, and it's going to make you feel really positive, and it's also going to make you aware of your own power, how powerful you are when you follow your own mind, when you follow your own instinct, when you follow your own spirit, and when you do things right. You get rewarded in so many different ways, when it comes to vibration, when it comes to karma, when it comes to having a really important challenge and things like that. But this particular information that you are going to have, it's not only going to help you to connect to the specific part of your life that you couldn't understand when it comes to which decision you're going to make about your future, an important decision. So this is also kind of going to become clear to you at the same time. But most importantly, this information or a message or realization that you are going to have, it's going to be pretty much so about the actual recovery from loss. And it's like, it's like on one hand, this is pretty much so to do with an emotional loss, but it's also to do with like a financial loss, and the loss of the actual financial security, the loss of like this powerful spiritual vibration that helps you so much and that keeps you going at the time when you're uncertain what to do, because you're very emotional, you're very sensitive, you're very spiritual, so you can like pick up on all sorts of vibrations, and that can affect you in a negative way sometimes, because it can drain your energy. So this is also nicely going to pretty much so slide into your life, and it's just going to re-energize you so much. At the same time, this recovery from loss that I said that you're gonna have, that you're gonna feel, it's all about the healing that is also gonna come through, that it's also gonna come forward. And it caused lots of worries, it caused lots of negativities, it caused lots of darkness and sadness before, over the last 4 months in particular. So this is going to be quite a big moment, because with the big moment there is a revelation, with the revelation there is a realization that you're gonna have this week. With realization, there is an important moment of the actual of bravery that you are going to have, the bravery that you're going to feel, because suddenly you will feel very much so strongly connected with yourself, and that is going to make you feel quite brave and quite courageous. And normally you wouldn't kind of go any further, or you wouldn't inspect this particular situation that is going to arise by the end of the week. But now it's all these energies are going to beautifully come together, and where you had a fear of the unknown, now you're just going to jump into this water and you're going to swim like a gorgeous little baby, my gorgeous Gemini. And it means, like, you know what I mean, one of my favorite sayings is, if you don't jump in the water, you will never learn how to swim. So now by the end of this week, it is going to be the time to swim, the time to jump. And now it's just pretty much so the actual future planning, you know. You are going to have a really kind of powerful vision by the end of the week, my gorgeous Gemini. You know, the vision, you're not going to be able to explain where is it coming from. You're not going to be explain the actual feelings and emotions. It's going to feel very colorful in many different ways. That in itself is going to take you to the certain part of your subconscious mind, which is on another hand going to basically just help you to reconnect and connect with yourself, but also to make an absolutely mind-blowing plan when it comes to future. And the actual mind-blowing plan, this is going to help you on so many different levels, you know, emotionally, when it comes to your success, when it comes to the great accomplishment, when it comes to like finally having an important basically conclusion. At the same time, later on there is going to be a little compromise that you're going to make, but then again it's just pretty much so to do with the part of your life that is slowly coming to an end, and you wouldn't have a bravery, like, or you wouldn't feel confident enough normally to go towards that step. So this is all going to make sense. So most certainly and most importantly, my gorgeous Gemini, there is going to be an important plan when it comes to your future. You have to trust yourself, because there is going to be somebody around you maybe who is going to be like a right little downer, you know, somebody who's going to maybe not going to be necessarily a bad person or a negative person, but it's just maybe somebody who's like a thinking in a negative way, who's going to be around you and maybe just feed you with a little bit of negative energy. And as I said before, you're quite sensitive when it comes to pick up these energies, so you really have to follow your intuition. If something doesn't make sense to you, then it simply doesn't make sense to you, you just move on. But on another hand, you know, it is just about the actual very powerful moment that you are going to have, you know, inspiration. It's going to like really, this is the time of like a pretty much so really nice little blessings that are going to come into your life. So the blessings are going to come in the form of the actual new beginning, new start, and inspiration. Something is going to inspire you like there is no tomorrow. And that inspiration is most certainly not to be ignored, because it's also going to play an important role when it comes to you spreading your wings and just flying, my gorgeous Gemini. So this is a very important part of your spiritual journey that you will actually go through. Now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Cancer, my gorgeous Cancerini. You know, it's like a pretty much so basically you know, there is the certain dissatisfaction that you felt. Something was really affecting your life, and something was making you really worried, something was making you quite negative, something was making you quite uncertain. And I'm in particular focusing on something that was just a pretty much so strong part of your life over the last 11 months, you know. So this is very personal to you, but it's something that you don't like talking about. But on another hand, it's just kind of drained so much energy from you, like, oh my lord, to the point where it affected your way of thinking, and to the point where it affected your way of planning, because you were worrying about this so much. Now there is a very specific moment that you are going to have very important solution to the certain problem. It's going to arise, and I really like it, and it's going to seem like so much easier and so much kind of like a lighter in the actual energy than you would thought originally how it would be when you deal with it. And and this is nothing unusual when it comes to this particular vibration, because what October is bringing us, October is going to bring you the opportunity to manipulate your own energy to the best of your abilities. So you just use your own energy, the power of the magical month of October. It's also at the same time going to be very highlighted when it comes to your own manifestation. So that's why it's also like this is happening at the right time, because throughout of October, not only this week, it's important to remain optimistic and it's important to remain positive. This is the key. But the information that I was saying and the information that I was talking about, my gorgeous Cancerini, it's about the actual the dissatisfaction and negativity and uncertainty that you felt. This is just going to put your mind to ease. This is going to help you to rest and relax, because it's pretty much so something that you really were hoping for to happen, something that you were waiting for. It's still a bit of a waiting game, but also the realization that you have to be patient. So it's pretty much so like an important information when it comes to the certain wish, that you wanted to actually kind of like happen, and it's going to reflect on your spirituality, on your physical well-being, but also when it comes to your future planning as well, because it is gonna kind of like basically gonna reflect positively on the certain financial setback, which means that you wanted to do something, you wanted to start something, you wanted to go to the certain way, but you just weren't sure about your finances. So this is all going to be connected, and most certainly the answer is going to be really optimistic and it's going to be really positive. So it's to do with a certain wish that is going to make you feel like, ooh la la, so much better about yourself, and that is going to be the greatest achievement, because now this is going to show you the way. It's going to make you realize which path to go for. And the path to go for, it's going to be absolutely obvious at around the midweek. And by the time you get to the last part of the week, you will see exactly what I was actually referring to, because that path is not only meant to be very strong path, like strongly and powerfully connected to you, so which means that you are actually going to do something and make a certain choice that is just going to lead towards the actual luxury and culmination in your life later on. So by the time you actually get to the months of June and July 2022, this is the time when this is going to take off. So you see the power of this week and what a strong time is to actually manifest as much as you can. And I like it so much, because suddenly you will be able to kind of relax, and you will be able to kind of rest, and at the same time when you are relaxing and when you are resting, whether this is going to be like a meditation, whether you're going to be just drifting away like in your mind, like a bit of a lucid dreaming, whether you're going to be like kind of like a grounding yourself, whether you're going to be kind of like trying to fall asleep, and then in the middle of that magical state of mind when we try to fall asleep, when we slowly start drifting into our subconscious mind, this is a very sacred state of mind, but the point is that however this is going to happen is just simply going to come to you in a moment of the actual when you're resting. Something really powerful is going to happen, and it is something that's going to come to you. You're going to realize something so important, and what you're going to realize is going to require like an immediate action. This is like a time of like a little spiritual awakening that you're going to have at the same time, because something will go through you, and what will go through you is just going to like feel like nothing else so far. So this is why this is so important, because it's going to open your eyes and it's going to make you realize exactly what is missing in your life, what you need to pay attention to. Your eyes are going to be open, and it's going to direct you towards a certain change, big change that you need to make, you need to do in your immediate environment, so this is really important indeed. And on another hand, what I also like is that this week you're also going to become aware of the certain illusion. You're going to be aware of become aware of the certain lies, perhaps, and this is going to be really beneficial to you, for you, because, on one hand, it's going to confuse you a little bit, but then on another hand, it's just kind of going to be really important for you, because it's going to help you to put your foot down later on, and it's going to help you with your own grounding, because at least you will know the truth. You're going to find out an important truth. Okay. The next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Leo, my gorgeous Leonis, my goodness, it is just pretty much so about the frustration, baby. It's like pretty much so about the frustration that you felt, negativity, sadness, confusion, and even fear and anger that you felt over the last 8 or 9 months. What happened over the last 8 or 9 months, it affected you so much. The things were like completely up and down when it comes to you. You would like maybe be a little bit low, a little bit down, and then you would go up, and then you would go down, and then you would go up. But when you go up, you're like, oh my Lord, on top of the hugest, most important mountain. When you go down, you just basically realize what parts of your life you're so dissatisfied about, what makes you feel really negative, what makes you feel really bad, So it's just about this frustration that I'm talking about that affected you, pretty much over the last 8 or 9 months. You are in the middle of the very important stage. There is an absolutely mind-blowing opportunity that is going to come to you, and that mind-blowing opportunity is gonna change your life like forever, literally. And I'm not even trying to over-exaggerate this or anything, but very, very soon, my gorgeous Leonis, there is a surprise that you are going to have. Someone is going to be playing an important role in your life. Someone is going to surprise you. Someone is also like kind of gonna become like an important part of your own guidance, because you just kind of like got to the point where you're like, oh my God, I'm not too sure what to do. I just can't find myself anymore. I feel maybe I don't belong here. I don't belong here. I want to do this, but I can't do this. It's just all sorts of emotions that are going to come through and forward. But I'm telling you that this is to do with the actual frustration slowly coming to an end, and I like this so much. And it's also pretty much so to do with like your life was like on a bit of a standstill. So this week it's going to be super important when it comes to this. And just remember that there is one specific person that is going to be playing an important role. Perhaps they're going to give you the message, perhaps they're going to be like a little messenger, but this person is also at the same time in an important way, like kind of connected to you, or it's going to become connected to you. However, it's going to put a big smile on your face. This is a very good news. This is a very positive news. You will see that the things are moving on where they were stuck for a while, but at the same time it's going to create the actual swift change, quick change. That in itself is going to require from you to basically just keep moving forward. It's going to remind you how important it is in this life to just keep moving forward. And also let me just tell you that also, on another hand, very interesting situation is going to take place. Throughout the whole week, you're going to feel very brave. You're going to feel really re-energized. You're going to feel quite excited, but you will not be able to explain this excitedness. But then on another hand, the things are subconsciously going to start like popping up, within you. And although you're not going to be able to explain what this is and where this exactly is coming from, this is the time where you're going to be driven by it like there is no tomorrow. So that in return, it's going to make you feel quiet, ready for anything like that. That means that whatever comes to you this week, like in terms of inspiration, you must not ignore it. This is important. And also, this is an amazing time to deal with problems, an amazing time to deal with issues, an amazing time to actually have compromises, because there is one very important compromise that you are going to have. And I'm saying an amazing time because the power of your subconscious mind is going to take over like there is no tomorrow. So when it comes to responding in like a spontaneous way, you can just basically sleep and someone can just like shake you up a little bit and just ask you something, and then whatever they ask you, you're going to respond, you're going to give the right answer. This is because of the very powerful connection with your subconscious mind. So you need to see what makes you feel really good this week, what makes you feel really powerful, what is like kind of rejuvenating rejuvenating you, because at the same time you're going to realize that, you know, the certain part of you, it's going to need a little bit of readjustment. You know, it is just a time to also pay attention to the certain priorities. Do not give your energy and strength towards things that are not taking priority. Do you know what I mean? Pay attention to the priorities in your life that make sense only to you. The more you're focusing on your priorities and on things that you should be doing, the more greater outcome you're actually going to have. What is going on right now, it's actually going to bring you a really kind of like so much happiness, and it's also going to resolve a really big problem that was affecting you and the people that are very dear and very close to you at the same time. It's going to bring a joy and happiness not only to you, but to the actual people around you. People who are close to you are also going to be finding this rather beneficial, like there is no tomorrow, my gorgeous Leonis. Indeed, I just like it so much, because by the end of the week there is an important accomplishment that you're going to have, and this is when it comes to your success, this is when it comes to things that you've been working on, this is when it comes to your own energy, but it's also when it comes to like a lot of worries as well. So an important answer about your own accomplishment, but also that in itself is going to confirm the direction that you have found yourself floating towards. You will see exactly what I mean, because also at the same time there is a really absolutely mind-blowing spiritual shortcut that you will be provided, you know, and that in itself is going to help you to connect visually to your life right now, and most importantly when it comes to future. You are gonna begin something really important here this week, and you need to pay attention to the little tiny opportunity that is going to arise, which is going to be completely different, very strange and very unusual, but completely different thing to what you would normally feel connected to. And this is something that is going to grow. This is something that is part of your spiritual part of your spiritual journey, but also at the same time, you know, it has got like a hidden little blessing with a hidden little beginning, you know, that you just have to work a little bit extra in order to go through and get what you want to, where you want to get in your life. Because by the time when you get to the actual August and September 2022, by then this is going to take off. By then this is going to make sense, okay? And it's going to be an important time of your life, okay? So the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Virgo, my gorgeous Virgolinis. You know, you just need to stay strong. You have been also like kind of like basically up and down, and the energy is getting more intense, you know, the energy is getting more uncertain, and you are also one of those signs that are basically getting affected by the earthly energies, like whatever like is basically kind of going on like on the larger spectrum, you know, or whatever is going on, you seem to kind of pick up this energy on a much higher level, from a much higher dimension. That in return kind of opens your eyes, opens your third psychic eye, so you really know what's going on. But then on another hand, it can drain your energy to the point when you're just kind of feeling a little bit uncertain, a little bit negative. And this is what was going on in your life lately, you know, lots of uncertainty, lots of negativity, and lots of worries affected you. And this is still going to be going on right up until this particular week comes up, you know, this week in October, because, you know, it is just, you have found yourself kind of stuck a little bit, you know, certain things didn't happen, certain things didn't take place, certain things didn't unfold, but this is the time when you're getting tested, this is the time when you're getting challenged, this is the time which is absolutely the most important time, and you have to trust yourself and you have to trust your spiritual journey, because it is not easy, it's really weird and it's really confusing, but at the same time you must not get scared, you must not think negative, you must not bring yourself down, especially when it comes to the magic power of the actual month of October 2021. This week we're already in October, of course, and this is the very vibrant and very magical energy that you must use, my gorgeous Virgolini, because you are gonna have an absolutely mind-blowing realization, mind-blowing realization realization, my gorgeous Virgolini. This is so important. On one hand, you need to pay attention to the actual information and message that you are going to have at the beginning of this week. This important information and message is just going to be like a bit of a vavavoom-ish moment in time, because it's going to re-energize you, but it's also going to pick you up, and it's going to kind of make your feet to stand really firmly on the ground when it comes to your energy and when it comes to your grounding. And you're going to be reminded, you are, my gorgeous Virgolini, going to be reminded who you are, what you are, how powerful you are, how strong you are, how different you are, how unique your energy and vibration is. But at the same time, you're going to be reminded how indestructible you are. I know this sounds like, oh my Lord, but it has been really difficult for Virgolinis, my gorgeous babies. It has been very difficult over the last 24 months, because you were picking up on all sorts of vibrations, and this was affecting your life, and you do not like when your life is affected in such a way in terms of planning, because if you can't plan properly for your future, about your future, if that gets kind of messy because of all the energies around you, this is going to make you feel really stuck. And if Virgo is stuck, then this is not good, because you don't feel progress. And then if you don't feel progress, this brings you down and it drains the energy out of you. And once the energy is drained, then you completely have no motivation. So this is the time when the motivation is going to pick up, my gorgeous Virgolini. This is important. As I said, an important message is going to put a big smile on your face. It's going to prove the certain justice to you, but it's also at the same time going to remind you how powerful you are, who you are, and what your journey is, what you're doing right now, and what you should be doing next. Things that have been making you kind of negative and slowing you down, you're going to find it quite challenging, because you're going to become aware of the essence of your own power. And once you become aware of this, your whole vibration is going to pick up, and it's most certainly going to put you in the stage of the actual contemplation. You're going to be thinking, oh my God, what I'm going to do. And then at the moment when you think like you're going to be thinking about a certain path, and then at that very moment something is going to come to you about the other path that it's even more important, but you're waiting for that one. You need to prepare for that one. But now you're going to find yourself, there is a certain key that you will have, the realization, and that is almost immediately going to help you to see exactly these two paths are the fact of your own realization, where you need to make a readjustment and adjustment. And even if things don't make sense, you just normally go for it, because you will know exactly what the right thing to do is. So pay attention to this contemplation. And when you think about two paths, so this one is not as important, but this one is really important, but you're waiting for this one for a really long time. So now there is an important key that you will have, and you will see that this more important path, it's going to be something that you should be paying attention to. And almost instantly you're going to be able to connect to yourself, okay, to such a high level that your vibration, you cannot ignore your own vibration, because sometimes we can't even explain things how we feel. But as soon as you kind of like realize this particular balance, you will know that this is going to be a guiding light at the same time, and almost immediately it's going to come to you as well, something that you're in self-denial about, the certain part of your life, that now it's time to pay attention to it, because you have got a remarkable power that is just gonna give you even stronger, even more kind of significant manifestation abilities throughout the actual month of October. So think positive, be positive, and also pay attention to things like your dreams. Pay attention to things that are on your mind the very first thing in the morning, because there is something that is gonna come to you and it's going to surprise you, like, oh my Lord, where on earth is this coming from? But then you will see later on exactly how connected things are, because when it comes to the certain, like maybe authority or something that caused you certain problems, there is going to be a really important solution and resolution that you are going to have at the same time. And this is brilliant, because it's going to help you to remove yourself from the part of your life that was dominating you in such a horrible and maybe negative way, and this is most obviously going to be the step towards the right direction when it comes to you, my gorgeous Virgolini, indeed. So this is absolutely brilliant. The message that you're gonna get, it's gonna put a massive smiley on your facey, but at the same time it's going to bring you an overwhelming emotion. I'm so happy for you. On another hand, you know, you are going to find yourself on a very important beginning, by the end of the week, my gorgeous Virgolini, and this is absolutely brilliant. This important beginning that I'm talking about is just basically also like kind of it's going to be really powerful moment in time, because it's going to happen like out of the blue. It's going to surprise, it's going to come through somebody who really knows you really well, somebody who's like connected to you, and somebody who knows you really well. You know, they will tell you something, they will tell you certain information, and that in itself is going to give you an idea, because it's going to open your eyes. And this new path that I'm talking about, this is something completely out of the blue, but it is a strong part of your spiritual journey. So you're going to feel a very strong connection, but you're not going to be able to explain where this is actually coming from. This is when it comes to this colorful energy within us that is just so strong and so overpowering that it's almost impossible to ignore. So you are going to need to pay attention to this actual opportunity at the end of the week that is just going to come completely out of the blue. And first of all, it's going to seem like a one thing, and then the more you think it's going to make more sense, the more you think it's going to become more vibrant, the more you think it's going to make you feel more optimistic, and you will get it, my babies, like this, that this is the right thing to do. And it's also going to be the part of the change that I was talking about before, and most certainly it's going to make sense when it comes to that spiritual key that I was talking about. So it's the path that you need to go through, that you need to take forward, you know, you need to go through, but at the same time it's to do with an opportunity with unlimited of possibilities, but also, you know, it's almost going to feel like an adventure, and this is absolutely brilliant. I really like this week when it comes to you, my gorgeous Virgolinis, indeed. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Libra. My gorgeous Libra. I love you so much, my gorgeous people. You know, this is like pretty much so like, you know, I see a bit of a dishonesty here. Someone's dishonesty is going to be revealed, and this is just going to mean to you so much, because at least, you know, the mask is going to be fallen here from somebody on somebody, and you're going to become aware of this dishonesty, and this is so important to you so much, because at the same time it's going to help you to remove yourself from the certain person or a certain group of people, or maybe even certain way of thinking. You know, this could be somebody in your life, but this could also be somebody who is not in your life, but it was the part of your dimension at that moment in time that it took your attention, and then it affected you so much, you know, when it comes to worries and things like that. So this specific situation was pretty much so like a very prominent in your life for the last 22 months indeed. For the last 22 months, you know, there are certain things that are going to make sense that didn't make sense to you, you know. There are certain things that are going to be explained. You're going to have your own kind of unique explanation through this, my gorgeous Libra, indeed. But most importantly, it's about this dishonesty that is going to be revealed, this mask that is going to be fallen. And this is brilliant, because you know what, not only this is going to inspire you, not only this is going to like really kind of give you an opportunity to make an adjustment in your life, because it's almost certainly going to help you reconnect with yourself in a way of thinking, and then without even realizing, you know, something is going to pop up in your mind, something is going to come up in your mind. And so this is why this is going to work so brilliant for you, because it's going to help you to kind of carry on with the future and future planning, and just trusting yourself and following your own intuition, and only doing those things that make sense to you. It almost looks like somebody was like kind of draining your energy, and somebody, maybe like you were looking up to someone wrong, maybe you were kind of like maybe you got like a little bit of wrong information that was kind of misguide you a little bit. So this is going to be really beneficial for you, because you're also going to feel like you learned your lesson, and that in itself, it's also going to be an important time of karma, where a couple of days after that you're gonna have like a karmic reward. You've been so unselfish, and you've been so beautiful, and you've been kind of helping someone. Maybe you didn't even realize how much you've actually helped to someone, you know, but this wonderful energy, it's about to bounce back into your life, and it's going to give you a really nice little surprise at around the mid week, and you are gonna be aware exactly who is connected to this, and it's all gonna mean to you so much, because at the same time, something that you're not honest with yourself, this is gonna give you kind of like some kind of inspiration and idea at the same time. So it's really important to mention that not only this is going to be the week of justice when it comes to you, a week of adjustment when it comes to you, but it's also going to be an important problem, an obstacle is actually going to come to an end, and this obstacle was really affecting you. Sometimes things affect us without us even realizing, you know. So this obstacle was really affecting you so much, in particular when it comes to you feeling happy and feeling excited. I'm not saying that you're miserable, but you will see when this obstacle comes to an end how much it was actually affecting you, and how important it is to listen to yourself, and how important it is to kind of follow your dreams, how important it is to not to allow and let the negative people and negativity to kind of like take over our lives. I'm not saying that you did this, but sometimes the negative people and this energy vampires, they can just take over by projecting their negativity on us, and this can happen in many different ways. But to you, this is going to be something very unique, and most importantly, it's going to bring this obstacle to an end, and that is going to allow you to make an important plan, an important future planning, you know. It's going to take place, and the realization that you just have to be patient, you know, the balance is absolutely right. It's an idea that I'm talking about, but you must not throw that idea away. You, my gorgeous Libra, are going to have a very kind of powerful idea, but you must not throw that idea away, and you can throw that idea away just by thinking negatively about it. So do not waste your thinking, you know. The thinking is the actual energy, and that is going to be very illuminated throughout this week, you know, throughout this month, you know, of October. So you just need to understand the idea that you are going to have it around the end of the week. Don't think negatively about it, because when it comes to its longevity, when it comes to its time, it's going to feel like it's going to take like a long time, but you must not let that to kind of like basically take over, because that in itself, it's going to create just a little bit of imbalance. But then again, you just need to trust yourself that as soon as you start flowing with this energy, you know, things are going to work out for you really perfectly, and later on, you know, it's going to actually bring you success, you know. So this is an important moment in time, and pay attention to the little kind of vision as well that you are going to have. There is a vision that you are going to have, but you're not going to be able to explain, you know. And very interesting is that somebody in your life who means to you so much, it's on a positive note, going to play an important role, because they will tell you something, they will pinpoint something about you, and this is sacred. This is sacred. Someone in your life who is very close to you, it's probably going to criticize you and criticize something about you, but that particular thing that they're gonna say and pinpoint about you, it's like a gorgeous, like a spiritual golden dust, really, like you know, beautiful, because this is going to be something that was missing in your life, and something that is sticking out, and something that is going to be so important later on. So someone who is very close to it's also going to be playing an important role, my gorgeous Libra, because they're going to point out something that you should be paying attention to. You're going to feel a little bit criticized, but this is going to come from a good place, and it's most certainly something to pay attention to as well. And also, very soon, my gorgeous Libra, you will realize this week that someone very special is about to walk into your life. There is a specific person who is about to start walking into your life, who is about to walk into your life this week, and that particular person is going to play really, really, really important role in your life for a long time to come. So this is something I would like you to pay attention to. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Scorpio, my gorgeous Scorpion. It's like it's like a Twilight Zone moment, my gorgeous Scorpione, for you indeed, because you are going to have like a really bizarre and quite unusual experience, you know, and this is nothing weird when it comes to you. And I say weird and unusual experience because now we are the part of this like completely different dimension, which is the month of every single October that brings us. So it's not only about the end of the month, but it's about the energy that we go, the energy that is happening to us throughout the actual month is going to be absolutely mind-blowing and remarkable. At the time it's going to seem very heavy, but at the same time it's always going to bring something really interesting to kind of look forward to every single week, every single day. So what is going to happen to you, my gorgeous Scorpione, you're actually going to have a very strange experience this week. Like almost it's going to feel like from a completely different world, you know, from a completely different dimension, and it's going to surprise you, you know, and you're going to find it quite mind-blowing because you're not going to be able to explain what this is, my lord, where this is coming from, what is happening, but you will know that you know, I don't even know how to explain this, but through this situation you will be able to get a bigger picture about like things that have been happening, and not only in your life within the last 36 months, but the things that have been happening like everywhere. You're going to be able to connect and reconnect with yourself on such a, my lord, high angle that is just going to make you aware of things that you weren't aware of. But it's most important, it's the actual realization that you're going to have. It's going to be absolutely mind-blowing, and this in itself is just going to kind of not only going to help you to reconnect with yourself, but also to keep on being you and keep on being motivated by yourself, keep on following your intuition and your inspiration, because it is not going to lead you astray. That is going to be one element of that. And then another element of that is also going to be like the fact that a very big problem in your life involving other people, but it's to do with you, someone very closely, someone very special to you, it's to do with you, other problem is slowly going to come to an end. You will know what to do. It's almost as if it's like you kind of need to make certain decision, you need to do something, but involving somebody else very precious in your life. So now this is also going to kind of clear a confusion, and you will even more become more persistent, you know, with things that you were persistent before, because you're going to have a strong sign that what you were doing so far, what you were thinking about so far, what you were focusing about so far, you were absolutely right, my gorgeous Scorpione. And this is the actual realization that I'm talking about, and this little kitty is agreeing as well at the same time. But that in itself, you know, it's just going to be so important when it comes to like a very heavy and difficult restriction in your life. You know, this is also going to give you kind of like the way out of the situation that created a prevention of movement when it comes to in general and your energy, because we have spiritual beings, we have free spiritual beings, we are meant to be moving, we are meant to be doing things, we are meant to be creating, we are meant to be expressing ourselves. So there was a certain restriction with a negative energy blockage that was caused, and now that restriction, you will know exactly what to do and how to cut this out of your life really nicely and really beautifully. Yes, I am talking about a very important spiritual experience that by the time you get to the mid-week, it's all about the actual you know, removing from yourself, from like a bit of like a situation that you find yourself almost like enslaved in, you know, tricked into. By the same time, you know, that is going to be really beautiful, because it is just gonna give you even more motivation. This is all about the determination. What I really like, my gorgeous Scorpione, is the fact that the more you express yourself, the better you're gonna feel. The more you express yourself throughout this week, more you're gonna get out of. The more you do things that you love doing, the more ideas are gonna come to you. Please, my gorgeous Scorpione, this is very important, because it's all about our own power and our own vibration, and things that we do in life, and things that we do in our spiritual journey, and karmically, when the right time is, things are going to come back at us. Things are going to come bounce back at us. So it's about the actual determination that you will have. You need to understand that this is going to open your eyes like there is no tomorrow, and it's going to work really beneficial for you. So by the end of the week, you need to really pay attention to this inspiration, to this determination that I'm talking about, because it's also going to kind of reconnect you with the part of you that it's missing, you know. At the end of the week, you need to pay attention to a bit of like you're going to be in a little bit of thinking mode, and you're going to be thinking again about a certain aspects of your past, and there is something very strongly that you're not doing but you should be doing, you know. Maybe the way you express yourself, the way you live your life, you know, certain things changed lately, so now you will know that it's time to actually bring this into your life right now, because something that is missing into your life from your past is going to be evident. But this is absolutely an integral part of your spirituality, my gorgeous Scorpioni, because you are gonna just remove yourself from so much negativity this week, which is gonna work absolutely brilliant for you as well. I like it because by the time you get to the end of the week, it's all about your own personal transformation that is going to take place. But also on another hand, this opportunity, you know, there's a little opportunity that you are going to have, this opportunity that it's going to come up at the end of the week. It's also going to seem something really tiny, something really insignificant, but my lord, as soon as you focus on it, like 7 days later exactly, there is a really important news that you will have, which is in a very unique way going to confirm to you that you're on the right way, you're on the right track, and you're doing the right thing with your life. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Sagittarius. My gorgeous Sagittarian is like, ooh la la, you know, you are gonna find a quite challenging situation. You are gonna deal with a certain obstacle, and you are gonna deal with a certain problem within the first couple of days this week. And this is gonna be so important because at the same time, you know, you're gonna kind of not gonna be able to explain where this energy is coming from, where this determination is coming from, but you will know, most importantly, that now it's time to deal with this problem, you know. And this is so significant because it created a really kind of like annoying obstacle in your life, which reflected on you not trusting yourself, and it affected your actually your self-esteem a little bit, and affected your courage a little bit. And you will see this is going to become evident within the first 2 days. And this, on another hand, you know, I'm not saying that you don't have a courage, you don't have self-esteem, no baby, no, but you know, because you are brilliant when it comes to this, when it comes to courage, self-esteem and things like that. You're very powerful because you can do things and you can change things, my gorgeous Sagittarini, like literally with a snap of the finger. But sometimes you don't realize because you're really busy, and I like this. When you focus really nice and really sharply, but sometimes you don't realize that there's certain things that maybe you leave behind that you should be dealing with then and there, rather than leave it for later on. So this is the situation that I'm talking about. This is going to really open your eyes, but it's also going to reward you so much because it's going to remind you of who you are, what you're doing, and what you're doing in this life, what makes you feel good, what makes you feel bad, and most importantly, what the next big step in your life is going to be. But it is going to require little changes. It is going to require lots of energy to be used at the same time, and it is going to require the certain adjustments in terms of you being busy, because you're going to become quite busy, but in the best possible way. And this is going to become absolutely obvious, like by the end of this week, what this is going to be. So this is really significant part of your life that is actually going to be revealed to you. At around the mid-week, my gorgeous Sagittarini and my gorgeous Sagittarius, at around the mid-week, you know, it's just basically, it's also, I really like the actual sense of security that you're going to feel when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your future, when it comes to your way of thinking. Something is going to come to you, and this is going to really rejuvenate you. But the things that didn't make sense to you over the last 7 or 8 months, now they're most certainly going to make sense to you. You will be able to kind kind of remove yourself from the person who you found quite domineering. Somebody was dominating your life. Somebody was having like a negative impact on your life when it comes to these feelings and emotions, because they were like kind of draining your energy. Whether this is somebody who's like directly in your life, or whether this is somebody who you maybe like kind of connect to every now and then, maybe you see them somewhere, you know, it really depends. But this is most certainly going to become obvious, because what you're going to do, there is an idea that I need you to pay attention to, my gorgeous Sagittarini, an idea at around the midweek, an idea. It's going to be mind-blowing, because it's pretty much so also going to happen at the time when you absolutely do not fear the unknown whatsoever, and it's also connected to the actual future planning. But or what is even more so, you're going to discover something very important about yourself, something that you love doing, something that you like doing, something that is like kind of like an important part of your life, but you are not actually doing it and focusing on it. And you will realize how precious this life is, and how quickly we move on in this life. You know, now we are 10, now we are 20, now we are 30, now we are 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Life goes like this, you know, it goes, this life goes really quick, really fast, you know. You can be 90 and you can still have your mind and way of thinking like when you are 20, you know. I've got friends who are like way over 80 years old, you know, and they're just absolutely so spot on, like with everything. We can talk about everything, and they all say that they also feel like they're 20 or 30. So I understand this like so much. I understand where they're coming from. I understand what they're saying. So this is all about the realization how precious life it is. And you will see something, and this is going to remind you even more. It's just going to confirm things to you, and it's going to happen at the right moment, at the right time, my gorgeous Sagittarini. So it's all about you finding yourself very indecisive. And what you're going to find yourself indecisive about at the end of the week, my gorgeous Sagittarini, it's going to be about, it's going to require a certain decision to be made. And you are going to make a very important decision. And just trust me and believe to me that the decision that you need to make when you find yourself indecisive at the end of the week, you know, you will see it's just going to be driving you crazy, but not like crazy, you know. It's going to be driving you like, oh my God, it's going to bring you like lots of like a bit like uncertainty, which is going to reflect on you feeling a little bit restless. But then again, at the same time, the answer to this indecisive situation that you will have, my gorgeous Sagittarini, it's here. It's within you. You have to follow your heart. You have to follow your soul. You have to follow your spirit. Don't ask Jane, Melanie, or John, or Mark, or Joseph, you know. Don't ask them, you know. Just basically, it needs to come from you. Because sometimes, you know, people can have a very strong energy around us, and you ask them something, and then three of them have got very powerful energy, and it takes over. And then it clouds things within you, around you, so you can't find your own feelings and thoughts, you know, for a while, until these clouds go away, you know. So I'm just saying the power of the energy and the vibration that sometimes can be really positive and optimistic, and sometimes can be like, oh my God, it can just slow you down a little bit. So this is what you need to pay attention to. But you are going to make a very important decision, and this in itself is so important when it comes to your development, when it comes to your own rebirth, when it comes to an absolutely mind-blowing recognition later on, which you are going to have by the end of the December 2021. So by the end of December 2021, you are going to have a mind-blowing reward when it comes to this judgment, when it comes to this decision that you're going to make, because this is also going to be like the time of your own personal spiritual awakening at the same time. So also, you know, if this decision is about work, about career, new option, opportunity, all this is telling you already the timing that the end of by the end of December 2021, you are going to have a really important movement, realization, news, which is going to be talking just about this particular moment in time. So this is most importantly a very significant time of your life, and when it comes to the next step, and when it comes to you trusting yourself, and when it comes to you having open eyes as well. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Capricorn. Is it Capricorn next? Yeah, my gorgeous Capricornians, you know what, it's like basically I really like this, you know, because, you know, at the same time, ooh la la, there was a bit of like communication breakdown with something, yeah, right, communication breakdown with someone, and this is important to work on. It's an important to sort this out, and it's an important to kind of see what this is, because this communication breakdown with this other person is really important and significant, and quite highlighted part of your spiritual journey, that there is something that you need to go through. There is something that you're going to dissect. There is something that you're going to find out. There is something important that is actually going to happen to you in terms of like realization. Not only you're gonna have a really big important move, you know, like a step in the right direction. This is going to be like about big mamas, like 27 steps in the right direction once you do this, because it's karmically gonna reveal things to you almost immediately. So almost immediately, within the next 3 days, there is going to be an absolutely fantastic idea that you are going to have, and this in itself is going to be the direct result of your own karma and of your own spiritual journey, and it's also going to remind you how important it is to actually sort things out when they happen, work on problems and issues and things when they happen, rather when we leave them behind. I'm not having a go at you or anything like that. I'm just saying that this is what is going to be on your mind. So it's to do with a certain problem and issue that created like so much emotional confusion, negativity, and maybe a little bit of darkness and sadness in your life, because you did not respond in the way that you should have responded. You did not react in the way you should have reacted, and this is also to do with like the situation that it was at around the time. Lots of other people were involved, but also at the same time, this was like just basically some of the contributing factors that affected your energy, and it affected your response. So this is going to be really important, you know. And the communication breakdown, this actually happened pretty much, so it was very heavy over the last 4 months. Little Kitty agrees. You agree, aren't you? Yeah. So it's a bit. Little communication breakdown was pretty heavy when it comes to the actual the last 4 months of your life, my gorgeous Capricornians. So this is why this is so important, my lord. Like there is no tomorrow, because emotionally this is gonna mean to you so much. You will kind of like also at the same time, not that long after that, there is going to be an information that you're going to have an opportunity that is going to come out of, that you will be able to connect, you know. And if you didn't kind of like having this obstacle slowly coming to an end through this communication breakdown that you had, you know, you wouldn't be able to be prepared to that part of your life, so therefore you wouldn't be able to notice it. So you will see how everything is wonderfully connected when it comes to our lives, but also when it comes to us doing things right, when it comes to us not being selfish. I'm not saying you were selfish. When it comes to us like giving so much, you know, when we give so much of our emotions and our attention and our energy, we get it back. When we are good, we get it back. When we are bad, we get it back. So either way it goes. But this is also to do with you being good, being great, but not maybe responding in the right way at the right time. But this is going to bring you really powerful spiritual reward. So it doesn't really matter. This is important because it's going to help you to kind of like really feel the balance and vibration within yourself and around you, and that in itself is just going to show you the way by the end of the week, an important way. This is your homecoming time, but it's also at the time of like when you felt like hopeless and you didn't know what to do, you felt stuck, you know. Now you will know exactly, my lord, you know, it's the passion. Your passion is going to be your guiding light. Your passion is going to be a guiding spirit. So it's all about what you do, and you enhance it by creating it, by making it, by throwing yourself in it, because it's going to make you even more passionate, and that is in return this week's especially going to make your vibration and energy super vibrant, and in return it's going to bring you so much from the universe. You know, it's going to echo back so much to you in terms of ideas, even more powerful vibration, and doing the right things at the time when we are so uncertain, you know. And so you will know exactly which part of your life you will need to readjust. By the same time, you know, where you thought like you're gonna have a really nice surprise, because the part of your life where you by the end of the week, where there is going to be the opportunity with a part of your life where you really didn't expect it, you know, you didn't hope for it, you thought it was something limited, like in terms of success, and it's going to surprise you. And this is brilliant, because it's nothing like surprising, because it's the time of transformation. When it's the time of transformation, we get the opportunities, we get realization. The time comes up when we just, what we are doing right now, we need to take on the next level. This is natural, this is important, it's the way life is, the way karma is, the way spiritual journeys are. It all depends on our own uniqueness and where we are ready. So this is all connected to your own transformation, but also at the same time, the realization at the right time, what the next step is going to be in terms of your development as well. Very important realization, very important idea by the end of the week, my gorgeous Capricornians, indeed, because that particular idea that you are going to have, it's going to have the second important stage, which is going to happen by the end of January 2022. By the end of January 2022, there is your answer to your timing. How long is something going to take when it comes to your development, when it comes to your personal development, and the actual outcome as well. On another hand, you know, it's just basically the more you express yourself as well, in terms of like, you really have to trust yourself, you know, so much, my gorgeous Capricornians. The more you express yourself, the more powerful you're going to be, whatever you're doing, you know. And there is the part of you that you're not doing, but you should be doing, my Lord. The part of you, there is something unique about you, something very powerful about you, something that you're not giving credit to yourself. What is this? It's very important for you to do this, my gorgeous Capricornians, indeed. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Aquamarini. It's my gorgeous Aquarius, my beautiful Aquamarini. Do you know what? It's just so important to say this. You know, there is going to be just a bit of like a misunderstanding in between you and somebody else, you know, and that misunderstanding, it's like, oh my God, oh God, that misunderstanding is so much more than just misunderstanding. That misunderstanding is something that you have to go through. That misunderstanding is something that you have to go over. That misunderstanding is something that you most certainly have to live through. Oh my God, you are not going to believe what is going to happen. You're not going to believe what is going to take place when you least expect it, through that little misunderstanding with somebody. Almost like a little, not a conflict, but just like a little misunderstanding. But this is so important, because it's only going to be tiny, but then what is going to come out of it, it's going to be like, oh my Lord, it's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. Not only because you're going to have your eyes open, you're going to realize something that is going to really completely surprise you, but it's at the same time going to help you understand things that you couldn't understand about your life, that was so murky, that was so like kind of a little bit darkish, and that was a little bit negative, and that were a little bit kind of slowing you down. This is an important time, which is also at the same time going to provide you an opportunity to deal with a very difficult obstacle in your life, but on another hand, for once and all, you know, to sort it out, because out of that little bit of conflict, you know, as somebody's face is going to become kind of obvious to you, the face that you knew before, but there are certain things that you're going to become aware behind. What you're going to see behind is not going to surprise you, but most certainly it's almost immediately going to help you to start planning for the future. And at that moment in time, there are certain things that are going to change, but they're going to become quite vibrant when it comes to your moment, when it comes to your present time, but most importantly, when it comes to your future. You will see that there are almost immediately, by the end of this week, you know, there are a few things that you're going to kind of like start changing about your future. But instead of like, normally you would be like, oh no, I don't like it, it's different, blah blah. Now this is just going to be a kind of main driving factor. So it's all going to make sense, because it's going to happen at the right moment, my gorgeous Aquamarini, at the right time. So it's all about this, the actual resolution that you are going to have. And at the same time, you know, it's the basically it's going to help you realize how much the certain person and a certain situation or a certain person or a certain group of people, how much were they actually draining your energy, how negative were they actually were, how much they were affecting you, because how much they were kind of like clouding things around you to the point where you've kind of like maybe just a little bit got stuck, you just a little bit lost yourself. But then again, you're Aquamarini, you're the power, you have got the power of a swift change, you have got a power of making a change with a snap of a finger, very similar to Sagittarius. This is a very, very powerful and significant quality, but it only happens, it only gets into the effect when you know that the time is right. And now you will know that the time is right, and when that happens, the magic happens at the same time. It's all about your vibration, but it's all about your manifesting power as well, because make sure that you are thinking positively and optimistically, because your mind is going to be like, oh my God, doing all sorts of things, but in the best possible way, in an optimistic way. You will be able to achieve a lot as soon as you kind of start focusing on your future throughout this week. Visually you will be able to connect very, very, very vividly. So that in itself is gonna really reveal what to do, because by the end of the week, you were wondering what to do about the future. You were wondering what to do maybe when it comes to the certain finances and what to do next. It's to do with your finances, financial situation, where to invest and things like that. Well, by the end of this week, something is going to become absolutely obvious to you that wasn't obvious before, and that in itself is going to make you change your mind a little bit. But this is going to be one of the most important things that you will do, okay, that you've done in a long time, because it's going to help you to protect yourself. It's going to help you financially to protect yourself by doing the right thing, but also to protect your finances, financial planning, and your financial security as well. So you need to pay attention to this. But on another hand, you're just going to remove yourself from the group of people or a person who maybe has got a very negative impact on you in terms of control. That is slowly coming to an end. Maybe you didn't want to be honest with yourself. Maybe you were like kind of, I'm going to try again. But now this is just going to be pretty much so very important time, which is like gonna, give you determination rather than confusion. On another hand, my gorgeous Aquamarinis, it's just brilliant. This is the week when you really need to be kind of logical, and you need to be as practical as you possibly can, in particular when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your money. Somebody so important to you, when it comes to your financial situation, when it comes to your future planning, when it comes to your finances, somebody important. I talk like this really fast when I want to say so much and I want to be quick. I don't want to take 3 hours, and this is why I just go really quickly, because I channel like, oh my God, like this, seriously. But yeah, so it's basically about the future. Somebody who's like very close to you, somebody who's important to you. This person that I'm talking about now, it's nothing to do with what I started this reading with. This is completely different. So somebody who is very important to you, somebody who you look up to, somebody who you really love, and somebody who you really like, and somebody who means to you so much. The certain person in your life is going to give you the actual idea by the end of the week when it comes to your finances and when it comes to your financial situation. That particular idea, maybe it's going to seem like a little bit of like, oh God, I'm not too sure, I don't know, because it's going to require from you to think in a different way and to make the necessary changes. But most importantly, it's an idea that is going to also kind of confirm certain doubts to you about the beginning of this reading and about the group of people or a certain person at the beginning of this reading. This is going to confirm certain doubts to you, because it's going to happen out of the blue and through the power of synchronicity. Oh my God, number 7 is going to be very powerful when it comes to the actual timing. So within the next 7 weeks, something really incredible is actually going to happen, and within the next 7 weeks you will know that that person who gave you the advice, who means so much to you, was actually right. So this is something that you should pay attention to, because it's going to bring you an important accomplishment. But emotionally, this is gonna really almost immediately going to start a process of healing in your life. So there, where you didn't think that you would have a courage to deal with and self-esteem when it comes to emotions throughout the emotional confusion, this is gonna kind of really gonna help you out with your own personal grounding as well, my gorgeous aquamarini. But on another hand, a fantastic fantastic week when it comes to your success. Very important week when it comes to your accomplishment. This is gonna make you feel so good, you know, and there is a specific information that you will have when it comes to your accomplishment, whether this is going to be the message, whether this is going to be like a kind of like a phone call or whatever, but this is going to be so significant because when it comes to your own accomplishment, because what you need to pay attention to that at the same time, as soon as you hear this message, this is going to make you feel so good, but almost immediately later, just you need to understand that there is a very important compromise that you are going to need to have. When it comes to that compromise, when it comes to that other person who you need to have a compromise with, you just need to kind of keep certain things to yourself. You know, you just need to play like a little game. You need to be really smart and you need to be really clever. What you know, but you don't want this other person whom you're having a compromise to know everything that you know. You will know what I mean, and this is all going to make sense to you, my gorgeous aquamarini, pretty much so. Okay, on another hand, what else I was going to say, it's like, oh my God, you know, it's the week of satisfaction, it's the week of coming home to yourself, it's the week of like a really important spirituality. And just let me just tell you that there is going to be quite significant sign that you are going to have when it comes to you being on the right path, when it comes to you being on the right journey, when it comes to you kind of like a thinking about the future. You will be thinking about the future and you cannot possibly plan this whatsoever, my gorgeous aquamarini. You will be thinking about your future, and then without thinking, this is when this mental stage takes over. This is when this spirituality and subconscious mind takes over. You will be thinking something about your future, and then suddenly something is going to come to you like a very, very interesting idea, and that idea that you will have, it's going to be followed by an important sign, and the sign is going to be mind-blowing. The sign is going to be completely out of this world. The sign you will know that it's completely out of this dimension. The sign that you will not even going to be able to explain, but it's going to make sense to you like there is no tomorrow when it comes to one of the most like important confirmations ever. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Pisces, my gorgeous Piscelinis. This is such an important week, like, oh my God, you need to, like, before I even got any further, because we're in the week of October, we're in the month of October, please just like, I know it sounds really mental, but it's like basically like, pay attention to what is the very first thing on your mind every single morning. Every single morning you will be guided. Every single morning you will be having a message. Every single morning you will be having information. What do I mean by every single morning? Even Kitty agrees. What do I mean by every single morning? Well, you know, I said this before. You must have heard me talking about this. When we go to sleep, we basically just like kind of close our eyes, and then we are part of all sorts of different dimensions. We do things that we don't remember. We dream every night. We don't remember. We have astral projections every night. We don't remember, you know, necessarily, and things sorry, and things like that. So what am I trying to say? It's like when we sleep, you know, we visit different dimensions. Our mind goes into like all different like dimensions that we are normally part of. But when we sleep and we are not consciousness, you know, we kind of like get in touch with this particular vibration and energy, and in return we find out quite a lot that we don't understand. Maybe we are not prepared, or we are not ready, you know, whichever reason there is for us not being able to remember our dreams. It doesn't really matter. What I'm trying to say is that when we wake up in the morning, when we open our eyes, this is the time when we still have this very strong connection with our dreams, with our subconscious mind, and these are messages that are very special, very sacred, very spiritual, very powerful, literally life-changing. And it can be just like a basic, like you open your eyes and two minutes later, and it doesn't have to be necessarily straight away. But 2 minutes later, you're thinking, you're looking at this like your carpet or something, and then you're thinking, and suddenly comes to you like, oh my God, maybe I should go to, I don't know, to the gym or something. Maybe I should go to the forest. Oh, I should paint something. Oh, I should hoover the floor. Whatever message comes to you that is completely out of the blue, that it's completely weird, that it's completely bizarre, it's something that you should do, something that you should inspect, something that you should become a part of, because it's not about what you need to do, it's not about what you have to do, but it's about you using this vibrancy and energy and allowing this energy to take over by following your own spiritual instructions that are coming deep from within. So it doesn't matter whether you get a message, I'm going to the forest, or I'm going to hoover up, then you hoover up. Then you will know, as soon as you start hoovering up your home, you will find yourself being part of this vibration, and that in return, it's going to reward you with a very important realization, where you're going to realize that on one hand, somebody's mask is going to be fallen, and it's going to mean to you so much, because it's going to show you that it's time to move on. But then on another hand, you just need to pay attention to the idea that you will have at the same time. This idea that you will have at the same time, you're not going to be able to explain, why do you have this idea? Why do you feel so powerful? Why do you feel ready to do this now, but you weren't ready to do it before? The idea, something that was on your mind like a long time ago, but now it's just going to come a little bit changed, but it's going to make sense to you, and it's most certainly going to open you up. It's going to open your eyes, and it's going to connect you with yourself. So that in itself, it's by the time you come to the end of the week, it's going to show you which door to go through, because you will find yourself being quite indecisive. But what will happen, like when you come to realization with this, after your dream, that idea, this is all going to make sense to you when it comes to that indecisiveness that I was talking about. Because at the same time, you need to pay attention, my gorgeous Pisces, that what is really important this week also, at the beginning of the week, you need to pay attention to what is the unfinished business. You need to work on this. This is so important. And this is going to come to you in such an unusual little element. It's going to surprise you. Whether you're going to talk to someone and something is going to come up, whether you're going to see something and it's going to remind you, whether you're going to read something and then this is going to remind you of this unfinished business. But it's so ludicrously important for you to pay attention to this, because karmically this is a big mama. Karmically this is a huge giant mama that you have to do. You have to pay attention to, and this is a very sacred moment in time, because it's at the same time going to provide you with a spiritual key, and that spiritual key is the part of your shortcut that is going to become evident by the end of the week, because that shortcut is going to give you the strong sense of what is going to happen in the future, and that is going to be a main drivel, when it comes to confidence and courage to step into the unknown that you otherwise wouldn't do. You will become aware of the fact how important things are and how connected they are, and how sometimes, you just have to follow your intuition, and even if it doesn't make sense, you just go for it. This is very important time for you, my gorgeous Pisces, indeed. On another hand, I like it so much. So it's to pay attention to what this unfinished business is, because it's a strong and integral part of your karma and the spiritual journey that you must not ignore. And that in itself is gonna pretty much so result in the actual where you had a lack of direction. Now you're gonna have your power. Now you will know exactly what direction this is, and now you will understand exactly why you had a lack of direction, because it was all connected to this, because that in itself is gonna really remove you from the person and the group of people that were manipulating you in the wrong way, in a negative way. And this in itself is also gonna make sense to you, because it is just gonna confirm that you should do what you want to do, and how important is to follow your intuition, and how important is to follow your own path by trusting yourself and by trusting your inner guidance, by trust in your inner light. This is more important than ever. Just remember that what is happening right now and an option that is going to become available to you by the end of the week, you know, it's going to bring you really great success. On another hand, you are going to have a very important information this week when it comes to your accomplishment, when it comes to your success, and it may not be like huge, massive, but it is going to be a nice little change, nice little movement that is going to create a swift change. By the same time, it's going to require from you to make a decision when it comes to the next step of your life. So you are going to have a really important information that you're on the right track when it comes to things that you have been working on, the energy that you have been putting in, and this is going to put a big smile on your face. But on another hand, a little option and opportunity that is going to come up by the end of the week, it's only going to seem tiny, little, but then again, it's going to turn into something massive by the end of March 2022. So now you have your own timing. If you start something new, if you begin something new, if a new page starts, if a new page opens, if you step in the new direction, if you think about your future and you think about the timing and you think about starting something or the beginning of something, you have got your indication. Very powerful, significant, strong indication, which is telling you exactly how long is something going to take. So by the end of March 2022, this is going to take off in the best possible way indeed, my gorgeous Piscelini. Okay, my gorgeous people, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I love every single one of you. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light. So I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, psychic medium. I love you. Bye.